Latest is here.
Waar vallen? Jullie kant?
Ja, kom eens weer zo een beetje bravo. Eerst is wat ik hoe dat dat is. Jo.
Les extraterrestres, aussi. Complexe des jardins là-bas. Lueur verte. Sujet clos.
What is that? Never heard anything like it. So loud. What could that be?
I live in Northern Ontario, and I've never seen this before in my life. Whoa! Hi, I'm Timmy Joe, and this is Gibson. And today on the program, not tech related necessarily, but sciencey stuff. I got trolled by nature last night. I also got trolled by this little guy because he woke me up at 1:30 a.m. crying. Now, unlike most of the time, he actually went right back to sleep, which was nice, but I go to the bathroom and out of my window, I see these crazy light beams. And I thought it was the Northern Lights because we live in Canada and it was a super clear night. You could see every star in the sky. And these light beams were emanating from the ground, just like blasting into like hundreds of feet in the air. And they were shimmering and moving. I had to go, so I had to investigate. So I went outside, as you can see here. You can see it with the cell phone, which is crazy. Like, these pictures don't do it justice. It's like green, yellow, red, green, yellow, red, and then it like changes. And I think this is the Northern Lights, like I'm convinced. So I actually started my wife's vehicle. I figure I'll blast up the highway a little bit, see if I can get some better shots of it where there's no light pollution. And I was totally wrong. I get to the top of the hill and there's no more lights really. I can just barely see them on the ground, which was weird. So I come back down the hill, and as I go down the hill and like crest whatever, the bottom of the hill, they start appearing and just shooting into the sky the closer I get to the ground. And that makes me think, there's no way this is the Northern Lights. Like, what am I experiencing? Why am I, what am I doing here? Like, why am I holding you here? So what this was light pillars. Nothing to do with Northern Lights, nothing to do with magnetic fields or the curvature of the Earth. It was much simpler than that, actually. It was so cold last night that moisture froze so fast that it was only, like little molecules thick. So it was able to kind of stay stationary in the air and kind of float about rather than, going up and forming a cloud or coming down as snow. And what it did was it created these perfect little vessels for light to shoot straight up into the sky as a light pillar. And this is a well-documented phenomenon. I found it on Wikipedia. It explains it there. But basically, you didn't even need the light to be pointed at the sky for it to look like, the bat symbol was just like flowing into the sky. And it was a very clear night. Like, you could see every star in the sky. So that's why it was, I kind of thought it was Northern Lights. It was really cool, and because there's different traffic lights and the street lights go on and off on like a cycle to save energy, and there's a bunch of businesses with neon signs over there. They were all different colors, and they kind of danced about in the sky, which was pretty neat. And it really had to do with a traffic light would shift from green to yellow to red, off in the distance. And on this side, there's just a bunch of trees. So I'm in this perfect perspective. And that's why when I went up the hill, you didn't see much anymore. Because, I was at this exact, spot. You have to be in the right place at the right time to see these light pillars. and I was just in the perfect spot to see them, and they kind of danced about the sky. So I will leave this bit of music with the pictures that I took of them. I didn't get very good video, of course, but I was able to leave my shutter open on my phone to get some real nice images of these things. Have you ever seen light pillars? Is this not really as crazy a phenomena as I thought it was? You tell me in the comments below. But my name is Timmy Joe, and I hope you learned something about light pillars and how cold Canada can get. So cold that it creates vacuum pockets of moisture that throw light into the sky.
In some countries, it's the lowest temperatures in more than 50 years, causing misery for residents and headaches for authorities. Countries in Eastern Europe and the Balkans have been hardest hit, with more than 70 deaths caused by the freezing weather. For example, in Albania, at least 8 people have died as snow fell for the first time in resort towns in the south of the country. Rare heavy snowfall has been seen in many places, including Dubrovnik in Croatia. What looked to be a typical mild winter suddenly changed overnight, catching authorities and the public by surprise. Further west in Europe, alerts have been in place for snowstorms and flooding, including here in Scotland. Disruption to travel is widespread, with many schools also closed. The UN Refugee Agency has also voiced concern about how refugees and migrants are coping in the freezing conditions, saying governments must do more to help them.
Tens of millions of people are in the path of this winter blast. Oklahoma's governor declared a state of emergency yesterday so crews could start prepping roads. And there's already some ice that's starting to form. You can see it here on this fence. That can pose a problem if it gets on power lines because it can snap the power lines. Just up the road in Joplin, Missouri, that winter storm blew through and left a coat of ice all across the city. Icicles were hanging off signs, and the area was covered in a thin layer of ice, making roads very slippery. Drivers in the Show Me State also have to keep an eye out for this: trees toppled by ice that end up blocking the road. Road crews have been busy for hours throughout the Midwest, salting and sanding major roadways to keep them passable.
These are not scenes from a Hollywood horror movie. This is an abandoned railway barracks in downtown Belgrade. When the extreme weather hit, refugees and migrants here broke inside for shelter, using anything they could lay their hands on to start a fire. Just outside, a van makes its way through the blizzard alongside hundreds of queuing men. It carries the one treat these people will get today.
This queue right next to me is going to have roughly around 1,000 migrants and refugees who are waiting for their only hot meal a day, which is provided by the NGO. Currently, temperature here in Belgrade is -7, but just days ago, temperature plummeted even to -20.
But one hot meal a day and few free blankets won't solve their problems.
Heavy winds, snow and some of the lowest temperatures in decades are wreaking havoc across Europe. The UK's Met Office has issued severe weather warnings here in Scotland, while there are 17 severe flood warnings indicating danger to life in place across England and Wales. Reports suggest more than 70 people have died as a result of the extreme weather across the continent. In France, violent winds have caused damage and left 110,000 people without electricity in the northern regions of Picardy and Normandy. Disruption to travel is widespread. Snow brought traffic to a standstill here in Germany. Holland is in the grip of freezing temperatures, while heavy winds have led to road accidents in southeastern parts of the country. In some countries, temperatures are at their lowest in more than 50 years, and winds have topped 140 kilometers per hour. The River Danube is said to have frozen over in stretches for the first time in 5 years. Here in Budapest, ice jams have formed and the city is blanketed in snow.
Oh shit. Buddy.
mammoth blizzard pounding Lake Tahoe, and that area getting several feet of snow this week. In fact, take a look at our next guest's home and these incredible photos. This is his house. Before and after, if you will. You can see the before. This is when there's no snow. Obviously, the after tells us a different story.